Well, this fight over SNAP benefits is starting to get out of hand for multiple reasons. One of which, states are now asking the Trump administration to break the law and send the emergency fund or their contingency funds to the states so they can send the money out to millions of Americans. Think about that for a moment. States are asking Trump to now break the law. How crazy is this at this time? Well, it's so big. This is going to impact so many people, more than 40 million, that states are now trying to think outside the box and do everything possible to ensure that this funding continues to go out starting on November 1st. But look at this. States are suing the Trump administration to keep SNAP benefits during government shutdown. I want to read a little bit of this to you. But just so you know, it is 25 states that are suing. Look at this. It says, a coalition of officials from half of the states and the District of Columbia sued the Trump administration on Tuesday over the suspension of food stamp benefits amid the ongoing government shutdown. It says the states, which include, I'll read it to you, California, New York, and Pennsylvania, are asking a federal judge in Massachusetts to order the Department of Agriculture to provide benefits through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program for November, including by tapping into the contingency fund to ensure the assistance continues to flow to more than 25 million people living within their borders. So they're not concerned about the people that are outside of those 25 states. Only those in those 25 states would receive the benefits. Now, here's the problem. Look at this. It says SNAP runs out of money November 1st. States are now figuring out how to feed millions of people. What they're trying to figure out is how can we force the Trump administration's hand and to pretty much do what we tell them to. Unfortunately, that's not what's going to happen. And I bring that up because of this right here. It says Democratic AGs and governors sue USDA for suspending SNAP benefits. They did that simply because they don't have the funding. I want to read something to you. It says right here, Speaker Mike Johnson claims SNAP contingency funds are not legally available. Everyone thinks you can just take money that's been appropriated to certain things and move it to a different program. That's not necessarily how it works. Let me just read something to you, okay? First off, SNAP is a mandatory entitlement program. It's mandatory, okay? Meaning once eligible people have been determined eligible for this and that monthly benefit has been set, the federal government is obligated to pay that benefit amount, okay? Guaranteed, it's coming. Here's the problem. According to the USDA, they cannot simply redirect arbitrary funds from one program to another. They can't do that without regard to the specific authorizing statutes and appropriations. The ability to shift funds is strictly limited, according to the USDA. It says Congress must appropriate funds for SNAP each fiscal year. If Congress fails to provide a proper appropriation, for example, during the shutdown, the USDA argues it lacks the legal authority to pay full regular benefits. Yeah, it's a big mess right now. But I want to read something else to you. Look at this right here. It says, they argue that the administration's decision to cut off food stamp payments, which are provided to roughly 42 million people nationwide, is unlawful and threatens to deprive millions of Americans of essential food benefits that help protect against food insecurity and hunger. Okay, here's where things are getting interesting. Right now, the Trump administration is telling states, and they have been for several weeks, you need to prepare for this because we do not have the money. We just don't have the money in our budget, or really hasn't been appropriated, that we cannot go and pull from other programs in order to give you the money. It is legally irresponsible to do so. We can't rob from Peter to pay Paul. Can't do that. But that's what states are asking for. Here's what's going to happen. Okay, I want to read something to you. It says, food banks are preparing for a surge as SNAP aid may be paused in the government shutdown. What food banks are doing, and they are still getting donations, but what food banks are doing is they're getting about the same amount of donations. The problem is they're going to have to ration that food. Instead of getting a 25-pound box of food and canned goods and fruits and vegetables, you're likely going to get something closer to 10 to 15 pounds. Okay, much less, because they're trying to cater to more people, because more people will be showing up at these food banks. Okay, that's the first thing. Here's the next thing, and this is a warning, okay? I'm not telling you to go out there and do this. I'm telling you this is what stores are preparing for. Let me read you an article. I'm going to read you the headline of this article that was posted back in April. Look at this. It says a quarter of U.S. consumers are now financing groceries with buy now, pay later as economic pressures mount. That is troubling, okay? Look at this. It says consumers are feeling the squeeze from economic uncertainty and are turning more to financial essential purchases like groceries. An April survey from LendingTree shows an increase in Americans using buy now, pay later services for groceries. 25% this year compared to 14% in 2024. So back in April, 25% of those surveyed were using buy now, pay later for groceries. The expectation is that more Americans are going to start using buy now, pay later services like Klarna in order to buy their groceries. Klarna makes it easy where you get 4 payments. You can make 4 equal payments to pay for those groceries after you've already received them and likely consumed it. This is going to be potentially a catastrophic failure for these buy now, pay later companies like Klarna. Okay? Affirm. These companies are likely going to feel the effects of non-payments, people in default, in the next several weeks. That's what we're already anticipating. Now, I don't know how bad this could get, but based off what we're seeing, based off all the people that are saying they are going to go and steal the food if they have to. They are going to go and steal, cars and steal electronics and anything that they have to sell it and then go and buy food with that money. That's what we're hearing. We're also hearing that restaurants are extremely concerned that people are going to come in and do what they call a dine and dash. They come in and eat, and yet they run out of the restaurant before they ever pay. Think about these things. It's not just the people that are hungry that are going to be impacted. It's the grocery stores, it's the restaurants, it's the truckers, it's the warehouses, the distribution plants. Everybody is going to feel the effects because right now, we're just days away from millions of people not being able to afford food. Food insecurity is going to be a massive threat. Now, here's where we go from here. Do I think this lawsuit by 25 states to the Trump administration is going to do anything? Honestly, I don't. Okay, I just don't. Here's the other thing. Food banks that are currently preparing for a surge in SNAP beneficiaries, I think they are going to be overrun. I think if you have the capability and you have the financial ability to go and pay for someone else's food that's struggling, or you can donate some food, you should probably go and do that. One of the things that my wife and I will be doing this week is we are going to be clearing out our entire pantry and stuff that we don't use, that's kind of just sitting there. We bought it for a certain reason, but and a lot of this is bought goods and canned goods and things like that. We're just going to donate it all. Okay? That's just what we're going to do. We're just going to donate all the food so that people that absolutely need it can go and get it. All right? That's what I recommend to everybody that has the ability okay, financially is doing well. If you can, go and donate, because honestly, there's going to be millions of people that are food insecure in the next few days. So we'll see what happens, but no, as of right now, okay, Speaker Mike Johnson has said that the USDA does not have any contingency funds that they can use to fund the SNAP benefit program. Unfortunately, that's where we're at this time. And the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention, and I've been talking about this, these delays in benefits, or pretty much the end of SNAP benefits as we know it, is because millions of people are going to feel the effects. And as those millions of people feel the effects of that, there's going to be millions more that are going to be feeling the effects as well. So as we get more information on this, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get them. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.